As Ling Fong confidently announced his ambition to be president, Ling Yu suddenly showed up, surprising everyone. Ling Fong continued to mock Ling Yu, but his father inquired about his disapproval. Ling Yu not only provided the justification but also offered proof. His father was outraged when he heard this, harshly reprimanded Ling Fong, and opposed his candidacy for president. The shareholders similarly voted against him consecutively. Ultimately, Ling Fong could not achieve his dream of becoming president. Nevertheless, his father did not assign the role of president to Ling Yu, leaving it unoccupied for the time being. Ling Yu then showed proof from the dashcam to demonstrate that someone had interfered with his vehicle. Ling Fong refuted the accusation. His father assured Ling Yu that he would provide an explanation and cautioned Ling Fong. Ling Fong was enraged and warned Ling Yu with Anqin, asserting that if he continued searching for Gu Anqin, he would surely locate her. Consequently, Ling Yu chose not to return and search for Anqin for now. However, at that moment, Anqin felt quite distressed. Yu called Anqin to inquire about her current relationship with Ling Yu. Anqin felt even more sorrowful upon hearing this and informed Yu that Ling Yu was gone. Ling Yu was back at his house now. He scrolled through the pictures of himself and Anqin on his phone and felt a deep longing for Anqin as well. Anqin was staying late at the office once more, but a coworker pointed out that the company had a new rule against employees working overtime, and that there was a shuttle bus that went straight to Anqin's. On her journey home, Anqin frequently recalled the moments she shared with Ling Yu. While heading home, Gu Xianer's vehicle coincidentally drove past Ling Yu's car. Consequently, Gu Xianer quickly became upset and chose not to continue to the bar, requesting them to let her out partway. By chance, Ling Xing unexpectedly showed up. Xianer pondered why it was such a coincidence. It revealed he had intentionally arrived after viewing her Moments update. Ling Xing observed that Xianer was feeling down, so he brought her to a spot he visits when he faces difficulties to console her. Anqin was at her job when her brother, Gu Anqing, unexpectedly came back. The pair went out together for ice cream. Gu Anqing was very concerned for Anqin and assured her that he would protect her from harm. However, upon receiving this news, Ling Yu felt envy upon seeing the picture of Anqin and Gu Anqing. He was unaware that this was Gu Anqing, Anqin's brother. He felt both envious and nervous, and unintentionally kicked his foot. Anqin arrived at the comic convention for the interview. Everyone was very eager around her, which left Anqin a bit puzzled. She claimed she neglected to bring her work, but the interviewer wasn't bothered and even told Anqin she could begin tomorrow. Anqin thought it was too quick and declined. Once Gu Anqing arrived home, Gu Yuanchao also became upset since Ling Yu visited Anqin right after his return. Mrs. Gu advocated for her, also mentioning that they should invite Anqin back for a gathering when Gu Anqing's birthday arrives. Gu Yuanchao subsequently instructed his wife to handle it. Gu Anqin accepted Aunt Hong's invitation to celebrate Gu Yuanchao's birthday. The next morning, her brother Gu Anqing arrived to help her select a dress for the banquet. Upon Gu Anqin's arrival at the banquet, Gu Yuanchao greeted her with indifference. At the same time, Ling Yu discovered that Gu Anqin was attending the banquet and that Ling Fong was there too, prompting him to make a swift decision to attend. While Ling Fong was conversing with Gu Anqin, Ling Yu unexpectedly showed up and interrupted them. At that moment, Gu Anqin was unexpectedly doused with wine at the party, but Gu Yuanchao harshly reprimanded her. Gu Anqin similarly opted not to contact the police. She mentioned that this was her friend and that she couldn't contact the police. This individual was called Yugua. Gu Anqin accompanied her to the restroom for a conversation. Ling Yu and Gu Anqing noticed Yugua wielding a knife on the security footage and understood the threat. The two hurried off to search for them. Nonetheless, Yugua grabbed a knife and charged at Gu Anqin. Gu Anqin avoided the impact but knocked over something on the divider, and the item struck Gu Anqin's head, leading to her loss of consciousness. Ling Fong stumbled upon her, but Ling Yu entered as well and countered his elder brother. Ling Yu tried to lift Gu Anqin to take her away, but her brother intervened. As the two argued, Gu Yuanchao condemned Gu Anqing for ignoring the banquet guests due to Gu Anqin. Gu Yuanchao still allowed Ling Yu to take Gu Anqin with her. Yugwa got a message instructing her to head back to the countryside initially, mentioning that someone would come to seek her out. It became clear that someone had deliberately encouraged Yugwa to embarrass Guanxin. The moment she opened her eyes and noticed Lingyu, she felt disinterested in him. However, Lingyu desired to clarify things to her. Guanxin refused to listen and attempted to leave, but Lingyu lifted her up and placed her on the bed. Guanxin urged him to release his grip, but he refused. Thus, Guanxin allowed him a minute to clarify. Guanxin also posed her inquiry, questioning why they needed to visit a hotel to discuss a matter. Lingyu clarified that he and Ai Li merely held a subordinate-superior dynamic. With no alternatives, Lingyu had to return, and he had Guanxin vow not to depart. Guanxin consented. Upon arriving home, as anticipated, Ling Feng proceeded to voice her grievances. Lingyu pulled out the inspection report, stating that he was aware Guanxin was not his child. Noticing this, Ling Tian suggested that since everyone was present, they ought to settle the issue definitively. Guanxin wasn't his daughter. He allocated 5% of the shares to her due to her mother, Jin Wan. Since her mother assisted him in launching his business, he had committed to allocating 5% of the shares to Guanxin. Once everyone comprehended, they all departed. Lingyu didn't have time to deal with Ling Feng and hurried to the hospital. Upon entering, he discovered Guanxin was not in bed and was attempting to leap out of the window. Guanxin's hand slipped, and she nearly tumbled, but her brother grabbed her just in time. The two subsequently departed together. This put Dr. Xiaoshan in a difficult position, as he needed to leave a note. Upon witnessing this, Lingyu swiftly made her way to Guanxin's residence. Meanwhile, reaching Guanxin's residence, he stood his ground against Guanxin. When Guanxin emerged, she still had no desire to see him. After a bit of debate among them, Lingyu chose to depart. Guanxin asked Guanxin to return home early because today was their father's birthday. Thus, Guanxin departed. Guanxin felt hungry after some time. Right when she ran out of instant noodles, a flash delivery unexpectedly arrived at her home. It was revealed that the food was personally prepared by Lingyu. Without a doubt, Guanxin consumed the entire pot of food. Guanxin referred to Guanxin upon arriving home. The family was initially having a meal, but once their father heard the name Guanxin, he became furious. Gu Xianer and Aunt Yang Hong prevented Guanxin from bringing her up as well. Guanxin was asleep, dreaming of the moment when she had quarreled with President Gu, and he had thrown her out of the house. She abruptly awoke. There was a lot of noise outside the door. Guanxin opened the door and found that the landlord had removed all her belongings. Guanxin felt very distressed as she still hadn't located a new place to stay, but the landlord was indifferent. At that moment, her brother arrived and invited Guanxin to live in his home. Initially, Guanxin was reluctant, but after her brother's urging, she consented, vowing to relocate as soon as she secured a new place. As Guanxin settled into her brother's home, Lingyu heard the news and hurried over. As soon as her brother left, Lingyu went in search of Guanxin. In the meantime, Guanxin encountered you at the supermarket. You fell for Guanxin instantly and even pursued him into the elevator. She was unaware that they both resided on the 18th floor until they arrived, at which point they recognized each other's identities. Lingyu supported Guanxin against the wall and told her with significance that regardless of how much she tried to reject him, he wouldn't surrender. Filled with emotions, Lingyu kissed Guanxin, and Guanxin accepted. Abruptly, a spoon dropped and struck Lingyu's head, disrupting their conversation. Lingyu noticed that Guanxin's button was undone and intended to assist her in fastening it. Guanxin declined, and the two grappled with each other. Abruptly, her brother arrived and witnessed the situation, misinterpreting it. He approached and began striking Lingyu, yet Lingyu did not retaliate. Guanxin hurriedly halted her brother and clarified that it was merely a misconception. With that, Lingyu returned home with a swollen face. The following morning, Guanxin prepared breakfast while Guanxin emerged wearing shorts. Her brother looked at her and felt shy, telling Guanxin to return and wear her pants correctly. Right after she switched her pants, a delivery arrived. It was revealed that the breakfast was from Ling Yu, and he specifically instructed her not to let Guanqing eat it. Guanqing listened and promptly discarded it. Upon Guanqing's return to the office, she discovered numerous designer bags had been sent, prompting her to arrange their return. It was Ling Fang who even intimidated Guanqing with negative reviews to persuade her to enter and speak with him. Once Guanqing took a seat, Ling Fang presented her with a house and bags, hoping Guanqing would become his girlfriend. Guanqing couldn't tolerate it any longer, so she yelled at him and applied the 6-god mosquito repellent mixed with chili powder that Ling Yu had prepared for her onto his face. Upon her return to the company, Guanqing believed she hadn't received all 5-star ratings for her previous order. However, the boss informed her that she not only received positive feedback but the customer also phoned to express gratitude. The moment Guanqing stepped outside, Ling Fang ran after her, bothering her. Ling Yu showed up and fought with his older brother, dragging Guanqing alongside him. Once inside the car, they each had something to express, yet both remained quiet, unwilling to voice their thoughts. This part ends here. I'll upload the next part for you, so stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and if you enjoyed this recap, give it a like. I'll see you in the next.